Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So a few months ago, I read this book. It's called Deep Work by Cal Newport. And the book talks about how to work more efficiently. And I was really inspired by it. And after reading it, I thought how I can take things he spoke about and implement them in my day-to-day life at my work at Wix. And the more I thought about it, I realized that the work method that we started using in ecom, I think about a year and a half ago, really implements things that this book was talking about. So today I want to share this method with you. I gave it the whimsical name, the Pinsky method, because it was introduced to us by Alex Pinsky and the management team of Ecom Platform. And this method talks about really reducing context switching and getting a much more developer flow and much more work done. And I'm sure as I'll explain it to you, some of it will sound familiar, maybe you're using a similar system, but I think it's once you give things name and you describe them, it really helps organize your thoughts about it, and I hope it will help you manage your team's tasks better. So let me introduce myself. I'm Dalia, I'm a backend tech lead at the Ecom Platform. I've been in Wix, I wrote 14 years, but as this conference kept moving, it's almost 15 years. I have three very young kids, and at my free time, I manage the Tech Lead and Architects Forum at Baot, which is the biggest women developers organization in Israel. So, and my team, sorry. So this is my team in Ecom Platform, officially called the Purchase Flow Backend team. Unofficially, we are the shoplifters. Now cheers. Okay. So today, I'll start by explaining what deep work is. As it's explained in this book, I won't go into everything. I really recommend reading this book. I think it was fascinating. And then I'll talk about what the problem is that we're trying to solve, how our method works, and of course, I'll have to talk a little bit about AI. So let's start with deep work. So when we look at the tasks we do every day, we can divide them into two types of tasks, deep work and shallow work. So deep work is everything you need to really invest in, and it creates new value. It can be new features you're working on. It can be something you're trying to study, learning something new. You really need to focus and spend time on it, and it's hard to replicate. You can't just do it as you go along. And then shallow work is answering emails, answering Slack questions, and I'll put a star here because Slack questions can be deep work, so it depends what you're asked and how much research you need to do to answer it, but it's supposed to be something really easy that you do as you go along. And what we really want to do is increase deep work because it's very valuable. So as the world around us evolves, and the machines become more intelligent and things change really rapidly, we are getting to this point where the winner is going to take it all. So we know it from Wix, that we hear it all the time, but it's also for us. As our jobs keep changing, we have to keep moving much more rapidly. We need to be much more focused and get much more deep work. Now, in order to achieve deep work, there are four things he suggests in this book. So the first one is have a designated time where you do deep work. You don't work on answering email, but you're actually focusing on deep work. So he says, he gives a few suggestions. So say like an author can go and take a week off and work somewhere on his book. I think in the context of us as developers working here, it's much more realistic to say we can close an hour or two in our calendar and we'll say now we're doing deep work. So now is our time to doing deep work. And the second thing is the location. So find a place where you're comfortable to do deep work, and it can be in the office, it can be at home, it can be closing a room for it. I sometimes, when I really need to focus, I do a meeting with myself and I find a room. I know it's really hard finding a room, but I find a room and I sit there quietly. And he talks about energy, so we need to be focused, we need to eat well, drink well, and as the cliche for developers, you give them coffee, you get code. But the thing I found interesting, which I didn't think about, was cues. So cues is the idea of giving your brain some kind of signal, now you're starting deep work. So it can be, I'm putting my cup of coffee and I'm sitting down, now I'm doing deep work. Or it can be certain music, or I'm putting my earphones on, but doing some kind of a physical signal that will let your brain know that now you're going into deep work mode. Okay, and what he's saying is that the amount of work we accomplish is the time we spend equals the intensity of work. And since we don't want to work more than 14 hours a day, then what we really want to do is increase the intensity of our work. Okay, so we understand what deep work is. So now, why can't we get more deep work done in our day-to-day life? What's disturbing us? So I don't know what's disturbing you, but this is what's disturbing me. I sit down and then I get all those notifications all day, and it can be CC bugs and production alerts, and other teams want me to support them, and someone asking for a code review, and there are all kind of tasks coming in from the guild. So lots and lots of noise during the day that's disturbing me to actually concentrate and work on the tasks I need to do. And in order to solve that, we came up with this method. So this method introduces in our team 3 different roles. So the first role is the guardian. The guardian's responsibility is to protect the team from all this noise that we saw coming around. So he's supposed to take all this noise, especially from production, and handle it. The second one is the renovator. He's kind of a handyman. He fixes all kind of things. We'll see exactly what he does. And the third one is the creator, which is really where the deep work is actually creating things. So let's start with the guardian. So the guardian's main priority is production. Okay? What does he handle? He handles, obviously, production alerts. So answering them, figuring the problem, handling them. He handles CC bugs that come from customers. He gives support to other teams. So in ecom, we get a lot of other teams that are using our platform and are asking for our support. So it is also important for us to give quick answers to them. And then we have other things like zero error policy alerts, code reviews for other teams. And if the guardian has time, then he takes all kind of production tasks, small production tasks that we have to improve our production. The second role is the renovator. So the renovator, he fixes all those small things we see around the house and we never get to fix. So if we're thinking about it in code, it's all kind of tasks that we want to do, and we call them engineering excellence tasks. So it's not tasks that are creating new features, but it's tasks that are fixing our day-to-day system, and we'll see a few examples. And usually it's tasks that are longer than a week. So if it's really small tasks, we usually do them as we go along. But engineering tasks can be one of those examples. So it can be technical debt. So as we work on the system, we have technical debt. If it's something small, we just go and fix it. But usually we have big things. We don't get to do them day to day. So we open this track where we collect all of those engineering technical debt. And then we can go and actually work on them. It can be all kind of incident resolution. So whenever we have a production incident, we do a post-mortem, and then we have our conclusion from it, and then we want to go and actually fix our system. And it can be all kind of things that come from the guild, all kind of migrations we need to do. So the role of the idea of with their engineering excellence is we want to have the highest quality of code, and we want to make sure that it's ongoing. And it's important to understand that, that all of those tasks, a lot of them come from the team. So we want to really solve the team pains. So every quarter we ask the team, what pains do you have? What kind of tasks you want us to work on? And then I put a few examples. So like migrating old services, creating some custom monitoring boards, improving our dev velocity by taking some things that we do manually and creating tasks for them. So all of those things the Renovator will take. And it's really an opportunity for someone to invest the time in them. So not just doing a day's work, but doing a week, 2 weeks, taking big tasks. And the third one is the deep work. It's where we all like to be, working on really big features. So taking big milestones end to end, being able to work on tasks for a long time and really create something without the noise disturbing us to work every day. And this is an example of how our schedule will look for our team. So every week we have someone who is a guardian, and then we have the E tasks are the blue ones. So when we plan the quarter, we already plan what are going to be all the E tasks we're going to work on and what tasks the Renovator is going to take. And everybody else in the team actually works on important milestones and they can focus on their work. They don't need to stop their work and go look at other things or alerts that jumped because they know they are focusing now. They have 2 months, 3 months to take big milestones and run with them and get the work done. And it's important to understand that this method has to change according to the team. So if you have a small team, maybe you can't have one guardian and one handyman. Maybe you need to merge roles. Also, the amount of noise that your team gets changes. So at Ecom, we have a lot of noise. So we really want someone to be the guardian every week, a person, and he has a lot of work to do as a guardian. But maybe if your team is smaller, you want to merge some of those roles together. And the other thing that's important is to avoid fatigue. So the guardian role is very exhausting because you keep context switching all the time. You keep answering questions and it's very exhausting. But also when you work on a milestone, it's exhausting in a different way. You're very concentrated and you don't always hear what's going on around. And so what we do is we want to have a rotation. So we want to make sure everybody gets to work on big features and also everybody gets to work on production and on increasing the quality of our project. So we do a rotation. So we say, if you worked on a big milestone this quarter, so next quarter you're going to take more of a guardian and a handyman role. So we keep switching so everybody gets to do everything. And we see a lot of advantages to this system. So it definitely reduces the amount of noise we have. We also see that production improves because we keep working to improve our production. We have someone dedicated to it, and also the knowledge of production really improved because you have everybody in the team does this week when they are the ones responsible, so everybody knows production very well. And we have deeper understanding of production, but also of our system, because you get to do all those engineering excellence tasks, which makes you touch different areas of the code and improve them, so everybody has deeper understanding of our code. And our quality has improved a lot, and we feel like we're getting a lot more things done. Now, it's really hard to measure, but I did manage to bring a few things that we did manage to measure, so we can see that our success rate improved dramatically. The number of errors dropped a lot. And we also feel like we're getting a lot more tasks done, even though I don't have the numbers to show you. But we are getting a lot more tasks done. And of course, we can't finish without talking about AI. So I think the big question is deep work still relevant in the age of agents, where we have multiple agents working for us? So what do you think? Is it still relevant? So I also agree. I think yes, for now. I will say I think that multitasking and context switching is not the same thing. So when we come in the morning and we have many agents working for us, we're multitasking, but we're still working on the same task. And we know we're looking at this agent now, we'll finish with this, we'll let it work, we'll move to the next one. It's not the same as I'm working and someone is asking me a question and this constant noise coming in. It's not the same thing. And I think for multitasking, we really have to concentrate. I feel that I actually need to concentrate more now because I have the few agents working and I need to read the code. I really need to focus when I do code review all the time, and I need to make sure that the agent doesn't do anything silly and then moving between agents. I actually think I need to focus more because I'm managing agents and I need to focus more now. But my answer might be different in half a year or a year, because maybe once the tools are good enough, that CC bugs are going to be answered automatically by the agent who gives us a PR, and maybe once we get a noise from production, there will be an agent that will answer, then maybe all this noise won't disturb us anymore, and we don't need this anymore. But for now, I think it's still very relevant. So, what did we see today? Deep work is very important for us. And we want to protect the people who are doing deep work by having other people that will answer all the noise. And we have to keep being adaptable because our world keeps changing all the time. So I hope you can take something from it to improve your day-to-day work. And thank you very much.